Passengers, what if the reason they keep trying you is because you taught them how? What if the first time you pushed it down was the moment the pattern was born? And what if the thing that hurts the most isn't what they did, but what you allowed yourself to keep doing? Stay with me.
Welcome to the journey. This is the road to your real life. You, here. I've been walking my own road, learning truth I already knew. Real talk, real soul. Every step's a soft life move. This is a scenic route where the heart breaks through. Life lessons, new blessings. Being real, being healed, being you.
Welcome to Scenic Route. Route sisters and passengers, this is your space for grown woman growth, the kind that keeps your edge and protects your peace. We're talking boundaries, reinvention, healing, identity, and evolving out loud without performing for anybody. So go ahead, get in. We're taking the scenic route.
Yeah, welcome to the scenic route.
Passengers, this is not the episode where we blame people. This is the episode where we tell the truth. Sometimes the disrespect we resent is built on the inconsistency we've been practicing. And that doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. But if you don't see it, you can't change it. Say it with me. Every time I fold, I train them. And sometimes the person we've trained the most is ourselves. You set a boundary. You feel guilty, you soften it, you explain it, you justify it, you bend it, and now they know. Oh, this isn't firm. You think they're pushing. They think you're flexible. And the more flexible you are, the more optional you become. Because if your no can become a yes, your yes stops meaning anything. Let me tell you something funny. When my kids were little, my older two were strategic. They knew better than to ask me for candy or ice cream for breakfast. Because I was fully awake with them, they knew how to catch it. I watched them. I knew their little schemes. But the baby, she had innocent face privileges. So what did they do? They'd send her in the room while I was half asleep. And then she'd whisper that, "Mommy, can we have ice cream?" And I'd mumble, "Okay." And they'd be in the kitchen celebrating like they won the lottery. Now, here's the part that matters. They weren't bad kids. They were studying the system. They learned access points. And so what did I have to do? You know what? I had to retrain myself. For a nice little while, I just said no to everything she asked for in the morning, even when it was reasonable. Everything. Because I needed to reset the pattern. And they were hungry until I woke up. And guess what? Nobody died. Nobody was traumatized. But something changed. They stopped sending her to ask for things they know they shouldn't have. Because the system changed. Because consistency teaches faster than speeches. Passengers, adults study the system too. Not always maliciously, not always consciously. If you're softer when lonely, if you cave when pressured, if you fold when confronted, if you always cave after 3 texts, they'll send 3 texts. If you say you're done, but you're never done, they adjust. They notice, but consistently. Every time I folded, I trained them. I also want to tell you about something I created called the intentional pause. It's a digital journal designed for the moments when you know something is shifting, but you're not ready to rush clarity. There are no steps to follow, no goals to complete, just thoughtful prompts, gentle grounding lines, and a space to reflect without pressure. If you've been feeling the urge to start over, this journal is an alternative, a place to pause, to stay. You can find it linked in the show notes. There was a relationship in my life where I accepted behavior I shouldn't have. We'd break up, and I finally speak up. I have to do I need this, or tell him I require that, or this can't continue. And of course, he would promise everything. Everything. And I would feel relief. I feel a little hope, some validation, and we'd reconcile. And slowly, the behavior will return. And once again, I'd confront, and he'd make the promises, and I believe again, and the cycle would repeat. Now, let me tell you something heavy. He wasn't confused. He learned that my requirements were emotional, not structural. He learned that if he could survive my anger, he could survive my standards. He learned that promises were currency. And I accepted the currency because I wanted the connection, because I hadn't fully claimed my worth, because I thought love meant flexibility. And the part that broke me wasn't what he did. It was watching myself accept it. I was an active participant. Every time I folded, I trained him. And every time I trained him, I betrayed me. I let me down. Let's go deeper. Why do we fold? Because folding gives immediate relief. Holding gives delayed respect. And the nervous system loves relief. You don't break your boundary because you're weak. You break it because tension feels unbearable. Silence feels heavy. Disapproval feels dangerous, and being misunderstood feels threatening. So you fold. And in that moment, your body relaxes. But later, resentment arrives. And resentment is the receipt. Boundaries cost either way. You either pay in discomfort now or disrespect later. There were moments in my life where I would be corrected publicly, dismissed, talked over, ordered, and I keep quiet, to keep peace, to avoid escalation, to be the mature one. But here's the subtle danger. When you swallow things to maintain peace, you teach people you can digest disrespect. And once someone learns you can digest it, they keep serving it. That's not cruelty, that's conditioning. Remember, every time I folded, I trained them. There was someone close to me who learned that if they pressed long enough, I would explain myself. I'd over-explain, clarify, trying to be understood, trying to be fair, trying to keep connection. But once someone realizes pressing gets explanation, they press. And the more I explained, the more optional my boundary became. Because if you can debate it, you can dilute it. And I had to ask myself, why am I negotiating my own limit? Every time I folded, I trained them. Breaking the pattern requires 3 shifts. First, stop announcing boundaries you won't enforce. Second, let discomfort sit. Don't rush to relieve it. Third, hold once, hold twice, hold again, because once people realize the system changed, they stop testing. Just like my kids stopped sending the baby. No drama, no yelling, just consistency. I want to pause for a second. I created a free newsletter called Checkpoints as a companion to the podcast. It's meant to be a place where you can slow down, reflect honestly, and check in with yourself without pressure to fix or rush anything. Each issue includes reflective notes and prompts that help you sit with what this episode has opened up for you and notice where you are in this season of your life. I believe this kind of intentional pause can be really grounding, especially when everything feels loud or demanding. If you'd like to receive checkpoints, the link is in the show notes. Passengers, this episode is not about making you rigid. It's about making you reliable to yourself. When you say no, mean it. When you say you're done, be done. When you require something, don't renegotiate it for temporary peace. Because the most painful part of broken boundaries is not losing people, it's losing respect for yourself. And self-respect is expensive to rebuild. Ask yourself, where am I folding? What boundary do I keep negotiating? What emotion shows up right before I do? What part of me feels safer when I cave? If you're tired of training people to treat you as optional, comment one word: nope. Nope means I'm done folding. I'm done renegotiating myself. I'm done teaching people I'm optional. Nope. Calm, clear, final. Passengers, you don't have to raise your voice to raise your standard. You don't have to explain what you already decided. You don't have to keep proving your worth. Hold it once, retrain forever. I'm glad you're here. Come on, let's keep taking this route together. I'll see you at the next stop.